Hello. I am now one book away from finishing my Goodreads challenge for the year. I have a stack of books that I have partially finished, and I might finish one of those, or I might read something new entirely. Don't know yet. But for today, we're going to talk about If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Okay, so this one I found on TikTok, and it is a dark academia murder mystery set in a group of kids who are at an arts college doing Shakespeare. And yeah. So I did a Shakespeare program in college, and that meant a lot to me. It left a big impact on me. I went on to teach Shakespeare to middle schoolers and high schoolers during summer camps based on that experience of living in a farmhouse with other Shakespeare students and that kind of thing. So this should have been right up my alley. And yet, it was not entirely satisfying for me. We follow Oliver Marks, the stories told from his point of view, 10 years after he gets out of prison. And he is now ready to tell the detective who was solving the murder that happened when he was an undergrad. He's ready to tell that detective the whole story, but of course, he does so by quoting a lot of Shakespeare and drawing a lot of things out. And, for me, it was just that this book, in a lot of ways, focused on the wrong things at the wrong times. There was definitely a core that I liked. The relationship between Oliver and James has some really moving moments. Like, I did find that. But, the female characters are not well written. A couple of the other characters, the couple of the other male characters are very cardboard as well. There is a lot of Shakespeare in this book, even for someone like me who loves Shakespeare, obviously. There's a lot of detail on the sets and the plays that they're performing and stuff, and I get that it's all very symbolic, but unless you know the plays and kind of understand the characters and everything, I don't know that your average reader would necessarily be clued in. As for the murder mystery, it's not actually that much of a mystery. A lot of people figured it out early. If you read mysteries on a regular basis, it's not going to be a difficult thread to untangle. It's more like you're waiting until those last 20 pages for the big reveal, and it's not that big a reveal. And yeah, so it's like this book was simultaneously too much and not enough, because it was too much in a lot of ways. It has some beautiful turns of phrase and things like that. It has some really nice moments, but it also tries too hard in a lot of places. And then the places where it's really focused on just this one girl, Meredith, and how beautiful she is, just constantly talking about her curves and her red hair and all this stuff. We're like, yeah, we get it, but then I don't know, it falls down on the job. And then there are places where I wanted more, between James and Oliver and that kind of thing, which the book telegraphs a lot, but it also doesn't give us some of the meat we're looking for, and then the end feels very well, I don't know if the end felt rushed or I started skimming, because I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. So anyway, this is a pretty short review. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. It's more like 3.5, but it wasn't quite good enough for me to round up to 4. I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't like it as much as I wanted to. I kind of felt that way about the last book I read, if you see my last video. There was a lot of potential here. It just wasn't entirely realized, I don't think. Could have done with some more editing, maybe. The book that I think, another Shakespeare-y mystery, All's Well, is on my wish list, so I'm not going to read that right now because I don't have a copy of it. But when I read that, I'll be interested to see how that is similar to this or dissimilar. In the meantime, I've got some nonfiction. I've got one like humor essay type thing. I've got another nonfiction book, and then I've got a stack of books that I still haven't finished. A Conjuring of Light. I'm like halfway through it. Maybe that'll be, my last challenge book of the year. Somehow, well, I don't know, I could pick it up again. So I don't know yet what I'm going to read next. I've got a new Cardcaptor Sakura manga coming in a few days, so maybe I'll read that. Anyway, if you have thoughts, opinions, recommendations for something similar to this, but better, I have read The Secret History. It's been a long time. I remember liking it at the time. I don't know if now it would speak to me like it did then. Obviously, I'm a lot older now than I was then. Maybe this is like perfect if you're still in college and still having all those feelings. Maybe I would feel different if I read it while I was in the Shakespeare program that I was doing. Don't know. Some people really do just, some people stay in that program and never leave. I would have if that had been an option for me. And I mean, like I said, I recreated it by doing summer camps with kids in a similar way. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, and that's it. Quick, short, to the point. And I'll be back with whatever I read next.